Hey guys, welcome back. This is the third review, and I would rather not be wearing this outfit right now, but the Minnesota Wild doing what they, unfortunately, they seem to do what they do best. When their backs are against the wall, what do? They fold like a cheap tent. I don't know what it is. It's the Minnesota sports curse, I swear. Almost every Minnesota team does this. It doesn't matter whether it's the Wild, the Vikings, the Twins, the Timberwolves. It just doesn't seem to matter. When the heat is on, they just, like I said, they fold up like a cheap tent. They can't handle pressure, I'll tell you. So this was game 6. Of course, the Wild were down 3-2. They needed to win this to keep their series alive. And as you can tell, that did not happen. So and there was one change. Talbot got the start tonight instead of Fleury. So it's Talbot and Binnington. And Jordan Binnington, since coming in for Husso, it's basically looked like 2019 Jordan Binnington. I mean, he's been on fire. Absolutely on fire. So you're thinking maybe too with Talbot in net, the Wild can, get a little pick me up, get some, momentum or something. Yeah, no. No, it basically kind of makes us wonder, did you really need to put Talbot in? Because it was not good. So let's get to the scoring. First, in the first period, a lot of end-to-end action. The Wild have got they've got most of the pressure going on. I mean, they're putting pucks on Binnington, and and they're throwing everything they can at him. But at 14:59, it's Leddy from Parayko to make it 1-0. That's Leddy's first of the postseason, and oddly enough, the guy who gets the first goal, right here from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He won a state championship with Eden Prairie High School, and he's the one who basically puts the first dagger into the Minnesota Wild. So that ends the first period. So the first period ends. It's 1-0 St. Louis, and you're kind of hoping, okay, maybe the Wild can finally, get something going here. No, this second period was all St. Louis. I don't know. I don't know if St. Louis just came out and, decided to turn on the Jets, or if the Wild just, again, decided to just say, heck with it. But this second period was all St. Louis. Furious action. Talbot's getting just peppered. And, of course, the Wild, one of the things that has absolutely just ruined them in this series, they take a penalty. And St. Louis is a team you cannot take penalties against. But the Wild took a penalty again, and on the power play at 9:26, it's O'Reilly from Schenn and Perron. That makes it 2-0. That's Ryan O'Reilly's 5th of the year of the postseason, and that makes it 2-0. And then after that, it's still constant pressure by St. Louis. And then at 13:25, it's Bozak from Toropchenko and Saad. That's Bozak's first of the year. That makes it 3-0 St. Louis. And you might as well just, just tune up the fat lady. Tune up the fat lady because she's about to sing. And then again, As St. Louis continues to keep putting on the pressure, the Wild take another penalty. And at 18:36 on the power play, it's Tarasenko with his 5th of the year from Perron and Perunovic. That makes it 4-0. And it's after the second period, it's over. I mean, it's over. I mean, I'm sitting there. I mean, I literally couldn't keep watching anymore. I mean, I kept kind of following, and then and then when my phone actually went off, the goal horn went off, and I'm like, hey, the Wild actually got one. Too little, too late, but so it's 4-0 at the end of the second. Third period comes, and the Wild put the pressure on in the third period. They really did. They put the pressure on. They only held St. Louis to 2 shots in the third period. 2 shots in the third period. So in the third period, the Wild finally get one. It's Dumba from Merrill and Kulikov at 6:25. So that makes it 4-1. The Wild, they keep on trying, and they can't seem to get any closer. And literally on St. Louis's second shot of the period, they only had 2 shots in the third period. And the second shot, it's an empty netter from Parayko, unassisted at 18:29. That makes it 5-1 St. Louis. And that's your final. The Minnesota Wild, I mean, they looked good in parts in this series. They really do. I mean, Kaprizov's going to be a star. The Wild need more. They need to surround him with some more guys to help him out. He can't do it all. I mean, the Wild are expecting him to do it all. He can't do it all. It's one big difference in this series. St. Louis's depth, their scoring, their scoring depth is incredible. They have way more depth than the Wild do. So yeah, St. Louis wins 5-1. The shots actually favored St. Louis, even though the Wild had more shots in 2 of the 3 periods. The first period, Minnesota outshoots the Blues 10-4 in the first. This was the killer period. This is when the Wild basically rolled over. In the second period, St. Louis had 21 shots. They outshot Minnesota 21-5 in the second period. That was the game right there. I mean, you can't. I mean, what? 21? You allow 21 shots? 21-5. Yeah, you definitely got to get better at that. And then it's Minnesota in the third period, 11-2. So in the first period, St. Louis had 4 shots. The third period, they had 2. 2 of the 3 periods had 6 shots total. But it's the second period. 21 shots they got off in that second period. And that basically was the end of the game. That's insane to me. That, as a Minnesota fan, it's like, how do you do that? I don't know. It's Minnesota, the Minnesota sports curse, I tell you. But and again, there were a lot of penalties, and there were a good number of penalties in this game. The Wild went 0-for-5 on the power play. St. Louis, I mean, the Wild, they held St. Louis's power play, under 50% for the game. And St. Louis went 2-for-6 on the power play, so that's a moral victory, maybe? I don't know. But I'm thinking starting Talbot probably wasn't the best idea. Maybe they should have just stuck it out with Fleury. I don't know if the result would have been any different, but Talbot stopped 22 of 26. Binnington stopped 25 of 26. And yeah, the Wild go out. Instead of going out with a roar, the Wild went out with a whimper. 3 stars were O'Reilly, Binnington, and Perron. And I mean, there's nothing the Wild did to deserve really anything. The first period and the third period St. Louis had a combined total of 6 shots in 2 of the 3 periods. But you can't, 21-5 in the second period, St. Louis outshoots Minnesota. That's not acceptable. The Wild have a lot to learn. They've got a lot to try to figure out in the offseason. I don't know how their cap situation is going to look for next year, because next year is when the buyout penalties for Parise and Suter kick in, and that's gonna take a decent chunk off of their cap for next year. Fiala is an unrestricted free agent. We're not sure what kind of money he's looking for, and honestly, he looked really good going toward the end of the season. He was getting goals, he was putting points on the board, he was looking really good. Playoffs started, and Fiala basically is Fiala anywhere? Do we need to put on an APB for him? Because you didn't know where the hell he was. Okay, he's skating around the ice. You see him skating around the ice, but he ain't doing anything. So yeah, you almost basically had to put on an APB on Kevin Fiala during the playoffs. But I think the Wild's future is I think halfway bright. They've got Kaprizov. Kaprizov is a star. He is going to be a star. He is going to be a 50-goal scorer, I believe. Hopefully next year, he'll hit 50 goals. He only missed it by, I think, 2 or 3 this year. And so, but yeah. So the Wild now go into the offseason. St. Louis advances to the second round to play the Colorado Avalanche. That should be a very interesting series, because those are 2 teams that really do not like each other either. And that's the Central Division final is set. It is Colorado against St. Louis. And let me know your guys' thoughts on this result. What do you guys think of the Wild's abysmal second period? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. And if you're just cruising on through and you're new and you're seeing this video, hopefully you like it. If you like it, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate the support. I'd love to have every hockey fan to be here with me. And yeah, that's review number 3. And there's a fourth one that I now can actually do, because that game just wrapped up. And so yeah. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts on this game. What do you guys think about that horrible second period that the Wild had? And again, hit like and subscribe if you're just popping on in and you enjoy the content. And I will see you guys again in the next one.